Dr. Shankar, there are like the way our channel is named, Hinduism Journey of Self-Discovery. So I want to focus on the word Hinduism particularly. Uh, More often than not, the Hindus themselves misunderstand this word Hinduism, and there are as many definitions as possible for this word. And many a times, I as a Hindu also struggle to justify or define it to others. What will be the definition of Hinduism according to you? And not for an outsider, but for a Hindu himself.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks. I'm glad you brought that up because this is an interesting question. The word Hindu itself. So I was looking up the the correct categorization of the word Hindu. So obviously, we Hindus don't call ourselves Hindus, right? It's only others who call us Hindus. And the technical meaning for a word like that is an exonym. So the people who are outside a geographical group or a certain group, the way they are called by the outsiders is the exonym, and the endonym is the word for the way the people within the group characterize themselves. So we would call ourselves followers of Sanatana Dharma. We don't call ourselves Hindus. And I think you already touched on this very beautiful point, which is that there are as many definitions of Hinduism as there are practitioners, and they're all legitimate. I mean, at some level, the light of the Lord and the intelligence shines in everyone, and to that extent, they are valid viewpoints. If you ask me mine, I would say that Hinduism is really a way of life, and you've probably seen this many times. But it is a practicing philosophy. It is not a philosophy that's in a book, and so in that sense, what is this way of life? What distinguishes it? I think one of the things that I find is that Hinduism has a deep understanding of certain laws of nature, shall we say. So, we have in our Sanatana Dharma the word called Rita. And Rita is a truth. It is truth. And sometimes Satyam is truth and Rita is, but truth as reflected in the natural order of things. So it's a way of living that is in harmony with the natural law, if you will. But this natural law that we see in the physical world is only a limited reflection of an even deeper eternal law, which we call Sanatana Dharma. So Sanatana Dharma is that eternal law, and reflection of that is in the natural world. And so living in accordance with the Sanatana Dharma is living in accordance with the natural law itself. And I would go a little further to say then, how is this Sanatana Dharma expressed? It's expressed in the Vedas. So therefore, Hinduism is truly a way of life in accordance with that natural law as reflected in the Veda.
So because like as a child, I always heard that Hindus believe in Vedas, and I often was not able to figure out this connection, that how it comes into practice. But I think this definition helps in that sense. And just small follow up on that, like how this Sanatan Dharma reconciles with this definition of Hindu Dharma. Are there any difference, or are they same, or how is it?
Uh-huh. So I'll give you again my perspective. And so the way I understand it is there are, we may say, three dharmas for an individual. So one is what we may call Swadharma, which is every individual and human being's commitment to know their true self. Quite simply, that's what one Swadharma is. The second level is what we call Vaidika Dharma, so the Dharma that's expressed in the Vedas. And there is a third kind of dharma, which is the world we live in. So we call that Laukika Dharma. And the Vedic and the Laukika can be at odds or not always in consonance with each other. As long as our actions are, I would say, in line with this Swadharma, with the Vedika Dharma, and also within the bounds of the Laukika Dharma, then I think we are truly practicing Hinduism. But there are many variants, and Dharma is a very complex subject, and something that it's again a path of discovery for every person.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shankar. It was very, very meaningful. Thank you.
Thanks very much for doing this. Yeah.